This conference will now be recorded.
Which we call it as a SaaS solution. And this complete solution is based on SAP's BTP technology. BTP stands for Business Technology Platform. So why it's a business technology platform? Because it leverages the cloud infrastructure providers such as Amazon Web Service and Microsoft Azure. So always remember, this is a solution which is not available in the on-premise solution. It's a cloud-based solution. And whenever you are operating on any cloud-based solution, you have to have a cloud infrastructure available. Okay. And through this particular Loisis business network, you can connect seamlessly with different networks and backend applications. So for example, if you see the picture right now, we are incorporating business network. Here it is connecting your transportation management system or any other legacy application, and it is collaborating with your supplier, with your customer, with your warehouse, with your carrier, with your freight forwarder, with your any other third party network. So that means any type of intercompany, intra-company logistics transactions which you want to process with any other business partners, that is possible through LBN. Now, before you actually start collaborating, you have to onboard. So the onboarding process of your business partners into LBN is managed by the SAP Logistics Business Network Operation Team. So there is a team which we call as a network operation team, and the responsibility is to onboard the shipper, tenants, and the carrier people. Okay. So here, always after once you onboard the shipper and the carrier, every participant receives a tenant in LBN network, and the transaction data is securely stored in a database. So you always hear the word shipper tenant, carrier tenant. So because unless you onboard them, we cannot create a tenant for them. Tenant means they will have their own separate user ID and password, so that whenever any type of transaction happens in transport management, a message will be sent across from transport management, which can be accessed by the shipper tenant as well as by the carrier tenant. So whenever you are integrating any type of execution process, so in transportation management, do all of you know what are the 4 building blocks of transportation management? Anyone? What are the building blocks of transportation management?
Contract management, planning, execution, settlement, and
yes.
analytics.
So whenever we are talking about execution, settlement process, that's where mainly the collaboration with the business partner comes, right? Because for example, if you talk about execution, or even during a part of the subcontracting, whenever you are sending any orders to the carrier, you want to have a confirmation from the carrier can reject that order. Even when you are sending an RFQ, the quotation can be submitted, the RFQ can be rejected, the settlement process can be triggered, the particular the sale billing can be triggered. So all these are the collaboration transactions with the business partners. So that's why it is like a collaborating tool, and in order, because it's a cloud-based solution, so LBN supports public API-based integration with the establishment net. That means whenever you are connecting your LBN process with your shipper, with your carrier and all, it is done through some API-based integration. You can also have a native B2B integration also with S4HANA or transportation management, as well as other legacy systems. So you can also establish from the cloud platform a B2B interface which can connect with your third-party systems. Okay, so at the time of publication, when we are talking about that this through LBN, you can also connect to some external network. External network means LBN can connect to external networks through these APIs. For example, to Project 44, then you have 4 kites, Farai. These are the different types of external network. They are this external network so that they get connected with LBN as a visibility provider. If you remember, we use Uber Freight, right? So as a digital forwarder, Uber Freight and Insta Freight are also integrated here. So in other words, this solution provides a user interface based on SAP Fiori, which is capable to handle transactions for partners in the absence of any electronic capabilities. And because it is built on top of SAP BTP, so features of BTP such as security, scalability, multi-cloud openness, in-memory processing are always applicable for LBN. Okay. So these are some of the important functions and feature or overview of LBN. Any questions so far? Any question? Clear to everyone? Hello, hello.
Yes,
Okay. How many people? Okay. Okay. So if you see here, the entire LBN, so is an, as I told you, it's is an integral part of your business network, right? So there are basically 4 or 3 solutions here which will help you to meet the needs. So there are 3 sub pillars of your logistics business network, or rather I would like to say 4 sub pillars. Okay. So one is your freight collaboration, one is your global track and trace, third is your material traceability, and fourth one, which is at the header level, is the intelligent assets or insights. So what is freight collaboration? Any idea what is freight collaboration from the word? What is freight collaboration?
so it supports all activities which will be integrated with the carriers or
Yes,
shipper.
correct. So freight collaboration focuses on shippers and carriers. They provide an environment where both shippers and carriers work together for your subcontracting process, for your tendering process, for your dock appointment process, for your gate processing process, for your settlement process, visibility process, everything. So they share real-time insight into the execution process. Also, you have a full overview of the invoicing process, because you can also have a dispute between carrier and shipper. So that dispute resolution process is also covered under the freight collaboration. In other words, the business process supported by freight collaboration are tailored with TM or S4HANA process. So this is what the major features is about of your freight collaboration process. Next comes the global track and trace process. Although in freight collaboration we have events visibility also, but the events visibility is very less. We have only standard 4 or 5 events. But if you want to capture, process more information, for example, for your production process, supply chain transaction, order to cash process, shipment process, commercial distribution process, all these things are part of the global track and trace. It's a techno-functional module completely. So this solution provides end-to-end visibility into the business process, performs real-time status monitoring of logistics execution process, notifies the stakeholders for exceptions, triggers follow-up actions based on rules. So this is the major feature of your global track and trace. So I don't know whether you have heard about, previously we used to have event management. So event management used to be the ready-made, go-to execution visibility process, right? But now because of because the event management is not part of embedded, it will be basically not the future roadmap. So SAP has brought in the advanced version of event management in the form of global track and trace. So again, In the global track and trace, it's a type of a logistics business network collaboration between the carrier and the shipper. Okay. The
So
third part, yeah.
we have one doubt. So we have carrier tenant and we have shipper tenant, right? So is there
Yes.
any option where I can also create a tenant for a customer?
No. As of now, no, because here the main objective was to map the transportation process. So if you want to see what will the customer do, you should not put an RFQ to a customer. You should not only think what the customer may need is to have a visibility, right? So for that, why to onboarding? You can just create a custom app. That custom app may have a visibility. You can give the reference of freight order, freight booking, and they can just check the visibility. Because customer is more from the order to cash process, right? Or the ship to party, what you're saying, correct? So they may not
Yeah.
need all the features for the freight collaboration.
So in cases where so the complex SCM networks, so there are some documents need to be exchanged between
Yes, you
shipper
can
and
do that.
customer, right?
Means, yeah, absolutely. Means what I mean to say that there is no, you can always create a tenant for customer also. See here, the customer is there. That can be done. But what
Okay.
I'm telling you, if you are trying to set up this LBN for the customer, it will be a heavy product for them. Just for customer. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
not just for customer, including carrier and shipper. If I also do customer, that's possible, right? I can create a tenant for customer and give some
Yeah.
access to their
See, I've now,
documents.
yes, I've never seen anyone doing that. I tell you the reason. See, ultimately, what will happen if you give exposure to this one, they'll get exposed to freight order, the charges, everything will be exposed to customer, right? And please remember, this is a cloud-based solution where the implementation team will not have much exposure to do development or configuration. That
Mhm.
all those things will be handled by SAP. You have very limited option to do update, configuration, authorization, everything. Okay. Whatever is
Mhm.
given by SAP, you have to adopt that.
Okay.
So if you really want to have visibility, so you first of all, because this question came in my first project, what does customer want? That was the first question I asked them. So they said they want to have a visibility of the shipment. So if I say that if you want to have a visibility of shipment, why to onboard and take so much of pains to update, right? You just create a custom app and you through the API calls, you just provide the update. You can get the data from TM. Just give some selection criteria in the Fury app and get them exposed to the visibility. Why to unnecessarily give such a heavy bundle of product to them? And there are certain data which you should not share with the customer, right? If the customer know really that how much is your freight cost, your profitability goes into completely wayward, right? You cannot do all those things.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
there is a
that's the reason. So we need a
yeah.
limited access example for the documents, right? So just a document, export document, for example.
No,
Those document how we exchange.
export documents is not the transportation process requirement, right? The export document is more of delivery and order you want to do. Why you want to use LBN for that? Means you are if you are triggering any export documents or any type of packing list or any type of other documents, that is not relevant for transportation, right? See, these are the four pillars you have. So which functionality you want to give it to the customer? Settlement certainly not required. Events, as I told you, visibility, they may need it, but for that you may have to give, you can create a custom app. Subcontracting, they don't care. Tendering also, they don't care. So why to give this access?
Yeah.
And if you want to give visibility to the documentation, you trigger an output. You trigger an output from the sales and delivery, send it as a PDF attachment, send it as an output, which will trigger an email with the PDF. So why to give this heavy product? Any other business case you have, you tell me. But what I can figure out is I don't see too much of use case for customer.
No, actually, we have a business case. Now, currently, we are handling this with the third-party transportation module iNet, which is iNet. So where they have created a customer tenant as well. So the required access is being given there.
So
Okay.
what do they view?
So they have given the mainly I'm telling now. So the custom document, the this little bit of visibility of the shipment, and they also give the documentations, the PDF documentations. So that visibility is there because email solution, sending of email solution was not a proper thing because of lot of other constraints. So they end up with having this access in the TM, in non SAP TM. So I was
Yeah, that's what
thinking
I
whether
said.
that is visible.
Yeah, visibility is there, but I'll not recommend to use LBN for that. Okay. You
Okay.
use see, as you said, it's a third party now. Better to adopt that approach because these will be quite heavy. And secondly, see, it's
No,
an
now
expensive
they are
model.
replacing this third party tool with LBN. So that's what I
Okay.
was thinking. Yeah.
No, customers will have access to LBN.
Uh, in future, they are planning
Okay.
to create one tenant for one ship, one customer address, right? One location, for example.
No, what they will
Those are
view. That is my question.
those,
What
those
they
are
will view.
intercompany customers.
Okay. Intercompany customers. That means within the same entity they are going to use.
Same.
It's not like
Yes.
external customers, right?
No. Those are not external customers. Those are intercompany customers.
And intercompany customers, what they want to view, which feature they want to use.
So basically, the documentation side. So there are a lot of big SCM setup is there, which involves multiple entities in between. Okay, so between the actual customer and actual seller, there are multiple entities is there. So with the plant abroad concept, so many of the cases, the plant abroad invoice would be one of the one of the invoice for the import purpose. Whenever the customer want to do import of the goods, so the invoice need to be one of the supply chain entity. So that we are sending to this third party tool now currently. So which is the given the visibility to the customer. So customer whenever the shipment is arrives, so they will go into the INET, the non-SAP product, and they are downloading this document.
Yeah, that is okay. But you know what I was telling you, because the core feature of freight collaboration is evolved around these four functionalities, right? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So if you see there are four functionalities. Now, if you're
Mm-hmm.
only using this feature, because I'm quite sure the first three is not relevant for them. So it is
Mm-hmm.
always better that rather to spend so much of money for subscription, for licensing, for onboarding them as a tenant, for connecting them. It's a huge activity, you know, for LBN. It's better that you create a you create a like what we did for our client. In my current client also same thing was there. They asked me the same question. I clearly told them no, don't need it because it's heavy product for them. So now we just created an app where the same thing they wanted to have a visibility and they wanted to have a documentation update, right? Like we were now right now we are integrating with GTS, so they wanted to see if the customs declaration is activated, filings are updated, and all those. So we are just exposing this through API, all these Fiori apps to the customer, and they are pulling it, and in the backend they're connecting with transport management, and in the UI they are using their own portal. Through that portal, they're calling the Fiori app, and they are displaying all the information. So because you have to understand the use case of LBN. LBN is mainly for the collaboration with the carrier because
Okay.
means the carrier customer will not be interested in doing all this except maybe the events reporting. Okay.
Yeah. Correct. So again, so is that the cost, the SAP cost is depending on the number of tenants we are creating, or?
Obviously, yes, yes. Okay.
Yeah.
SAP, see, basically I tell you, if you remember, SAP in your TM has both basic license and advanced license, right? Even if you are going for an optimizer, SAP says it's an advanced license, right? But because our client, has so many features they are incorporating, so they did not charge any additional fee for this advanced license for TM for the optimizer. We did not pay a single penny. Okay. So that completely depends how the
No,
sales team
Virendra,
is dealing with.
we
Yeah.
we lost you for a couple of seconds.
Okay. Is it audible now?
It is clear now. Yeah. Earlier we lost you.
Okay. So what I said in one of my previous projects, as you know, like optimizer is part of advanced license, right? So when we basically moved into S4 HANA, initially optimizer, because it was an advanced license, we went for the basic. But because of the licensing, there were more than around 400, 500 licenses. So SAP sales team gave a free offer that you can use optimizer without paying an additional license fee. It is completely dependent on whether you are charging the fee, what subscription model you are using, what are the volume of user license. These are all depending and decide the amount what you're going to charge. So even in some cases, what you're asking about the tenants, it completely depends on how they are setting it up and whether if it's very, it's a gold customer for SAP, they may also give it at free FOC also. That depends completely on how much licensing options you're having with that client, because all depends on business, right? So that is what I was saying, whether they charge it or not. Ideally, they should charge, but it depends. Now, as I was telling you about this global, the third part is the material traceability. What is material traceability? Any of you knows what is material traceability? Have you heard about it? What do you need to do to trace a material?
So like a batch traceability?
Yes, correct. Previously, we used to have a module called as GPT. Have you worked on GPT, global batch traceability?
So we had, but no, not worked on GPT.
So the material traceability basically enables the sharing of data, such as your batch attributes, your batch classification, your outbound delivery, your purchase order across an supply chain network. Okay, that means whenever in your upstream or downstream process, wherever you are using the material which is basically batch characteristics, this gynology of your batch attributes can be shared across multiple transportation network platforms, and they use the blockchain technology. So what is a blockchain? So the blockchain provides a trusted environment so that the business partners can safely share product information, analyze the product provenance, and also inform the supply chain partners within the network if there are product issues or not. So the entire process of sharing this across your network, across your networking, is done through the material traceability process. So material traceability is very important because mainly it is used in pharma industries and all. And in case it is used in pharma industry, then we can use it. Okay. So this is about
Virendra,
the
how far we are covering these topics, global track and trace and material traceability in this
overview,
course?
only overview. I cannot show you here because first of all, as I told you, global track and trace, it's a technical module completely. Okay. I have some screenshots which I can share with you. I cannot basically disclose those because my project, this one. But I cannot show you global track and trace because we need technical guys. Without that, you cannot implement actually. And material traceability is something it's different. So majorly, we are covering the freight collaboration process, which is mainly with the TM1.
So will you be able to work with this understanding of global track and trace? So whatever you will be providing, or
Yeah, with
how?
screenshots and all, I will tell you. But I cannot run end-to-end here. No. Okay.
So end to end will be on freight collaboration only, right?
Only on freight collaboration. Yes. Because that is the major part of your TM. Material traceability
Yeah.
more for export process, right?
Yeah. So yeah, at least what I'm expecting on global track and trace, right? So at least the theoretical part of the thing and the integration with at least the understanding of how we integrate with Project 24 and end-to-end visibility of the integration with Project 24 and
See,
the global track.
I'll be very transparent here. Okay. In
Mhm.
any institute, see, this is a training institute. You cannot show
Mhm.
global track and trace with Project 44. It's not possible. Only what we can
Mhm.
do is, the pictorial overview, the theoretical overview, and maybe whatever is required for integration, just the basic configuration, what is required, that only. I cannot run the process end to end because you have to
Yeah, I
understand
understand.
Project 44 is a
Understand.
external networking operations, right?
Excellent.
We cannot,
Yes, yes,
yeah,
understand. Understand.
we cannot do that.
No, that's what
Yeah.
Virendra, the one what you said now. So theoretical overview, some configurations, that's enough. Yeah, please.
Yes. So whatever I have, I will try to share with you, but I cannot share entirely because of the constraint of my project thing, because that is, where you cannot nowadays do that. It's as per the NDA. And secondly, whatever is there, I'll try to show you, but it's why I don't want to delve too much on this topic. I tell you the reason. I have done 2 projects on GTT. It's first of all, it's a nightmare to understand the code. It's not really the standard code what we use. Okay, because if you don't understand the code, you are not able to use. See, these are all GNIT codes. I don't know whether you GitHub. I don't know whether you have heard about this GIT hub. So in the GIT hub, all the codings of these are there. Okay, so in the backend. So because whenever you are working on any type of cloud products, their way of operation is a little bit different. Okay, so anyway, not going into technical detail, but I'll try to give an overview on whatever is it. Okay. Now, just going into a little bit details on this cloud. I'll not go into the feature, but there are 2 terminologies which you need to understand. Okay. See, as I told you, the first 2 days it's little bit theoretical, because unless you understand theoretical, you will not be able to coding. One is the concept of onboarding. So when I'm onboarding means I'm onboarding 2 guys. One is the onboarding concept of onboarding a solution owner. This is very important to understand. Please listen carefully, or else you will not be able to code it. Okay. So you always try to onboard a solution owner. Okay. And secondly, when you are onboarding them, there are obviously a lot of other things. And secondly, you have to onboard your solution partner. So I'll come into details what is solution owner, solution partner. But first of all, we need to understand the word what is onboarding. What is the word? What do you understand by the word onboarding? From the word itself, anything which is clear to you?
Actually, it is self-explanatory, but
So that
so
means you have to onboard.
bringing them somebody
Yes,
into
into the network.
the network.
Yeah. So that means you must onboard someone into the network. And there are 2 possible roles in LBN who are onboarded in any type of network. One is the solution owner and one is the solution partner. Okay. So solution owner is the organizational unit that owns or purchases the LBN network subscription. That means who purchases the subscription of LBN, they are called as a solution owner. So for example, for your freight collaboration, your manufacturing company or shipper will obviously will be the solution owner, right? For global track and trace, this can again be the shipper or the LSP. And for material traceability, this can be shipper, LSP, or your material supplier. So that means the entity who basically owns, who purchases the subscription for your business network, they are called as the solution owner. Solution partner is the organization that is invited by the solution owner to join the LBN network. That means, suppose I am the shipper, you are the carrier. So I am the solution owner, you are the solution partner, because I am inviting. So a solution partner can be an organization that will execute your transportation. That means the carrier for your freight collaboration, a carrier or an organization that provides tracking data for global track and trace, or an organization that provides batch traceability data to the network. Okay. So this is the difference between the solution owner and solution partner. But whenever you are going for a solution owner, there are a lot of steps which you need to understand. So today we'll only focus on solution owner. Okay. So as part of your onboarding process, LBN provides you with 2 environments. So these environments are actually called as tenants in BTP. So when we use the word carrier tenant and your shipper tenant, they are nothing but they are the environment. Okay. Clear to everyone?
Yeah.
Because often we use the word tenant, but you have to understand that these are the environment. So LBN provides you with two environments, one for testing and one for productive use. So as a solution owner, we'll have a tenant in both your test as well as your production. So for that you need to maintain, or you need to do few things here. First of all, you have to maintain a business partner profile, BP profile. This is one attribute. Second attribute, you need to invite the solution partner. And you have to execute your business process. Okay, these are the three most important features of your solution owner. And please note that, as I told you, it operates in two tenants, testing and production. So for test environments, you can also create and manage solution partner tenants there also in the testing. It's not that only production you maintain the solution partner tenants, you can also create in your testing. Okay.
So
Now,
which means so we only can able to test in quality, not in development, right? With this.
yes, means you can do that. You can do it in testing as well as in production, but mainly testing will done be in the testing plan and the production also. But you can always see, that's why I told you that based on the license, you need to understand whether you need the tenants in both testing or production or only production. Okay. So for example, I tell you, it's a little bit of a technical thing. If your subscription purchase is a test license or an SAP partner license, then your entitlements will include freight collaboration, global track and trace, and intelligent insights, all three of them. That means if you have a test license, or if you are actually global partners of SAP, right? So there is a SAP partner license. Then within one license, you can include your freight collaboration feature, global track and trace feature, as well as the batch traceability feature. So test tenant for carrier or system integrators tenant for carrier can also be used as data tenant for global track and trace. So that's a different thing. But the objective here is that how many tenants you're buying through the subscription license. That is very important. Okay. One more thing, as a solution owner, you are responsible to manage both the test and the productive logistics business owner tenants in your BTP account. You have to maintain both. Now, before you go into running any business process, so there are 3 or 4 steps you need to ensure. One is you need to set up a global account. That means as a solution owner. So you set up global account. You maintain a BP profile, what I told you. You maintain and you invite solution partner, what I wrote here. And one more thing I forgot, that once you are setting up a global account, you need to authenticate and authorize users in LBN. So these are the core main features of your functionality of your solution owner. Set up global account, authenticate and authorize users in LBN, BP profile, and invite the solution partner. Now, what is setting up a global account? So setting up a global account means when your organization signs a contract for LBN network, an email is sent to the email address specified in the contract. So that means, for example, I am a shipper. So whenever I am signing a contract that I need the license for LBN, an email will be sent to my email ID based on the contract. And that email, when you open the email, you'll find the link to log on to the SAP BTP cockpit. That means the LBN cockpit. So that means you can log into the cockpit from the link and then navigate to your global account landing page. So first of all, I need to set up my user credentials, my entire networking page for me, because I am a carrier, I am a solution owner. So I need to maintain all my credentials in that account. Like, for example, when you are opening a Gmail account, system will ask you all the details, right? Name, ID, your house address, your status, everything, right? Same thing. So you can, when you are logging into the BTP cockpit through that email link, you have to enter all the information in that link, in that global account landing page. And this global account is an entry point for managing your resource, your landscape, and entitlements. And please note, the person who is receiving that email will have an administrator role in the SAP BTP by default. Any questions so far? Now you have another feature called as a sub account. So sub account in an SAP BTP is required to develop and deploy applications, to subscribe to different types of application. For example, this sub accounts provides a way to organize your entitlements, create some user groups, and distribute the resource. So within an account, you have a sub account. So for example, suppose I have a global account in region A. In America, I have a global account. In Asia, I have another account. So within the global account, you may have sub account in America for application, for service, for subscription. Similarly, I can create another sub account with only application and services in UAE, in Middle East. So this sub account and this global account are interlinked. So that means whenever you are creating a global account, it is region and environment independent. But whenever you are creating a sub account, it is associated with a region where data, service, applications are physically hosted. Okay. So always remember that as a solution owner, when I'm setting up my global account, you should actually create separate sub accounts for your testing and production environment. It is also recommended to keep separate sub accounts for your freight collaboration, separate sub accounts for your global track and trace, and separate sub accounts for your material traceability. So you should have a separate sub accounts for all these three functionalities which are supported by LBN. Okay, clear to everyone? Any other questions so far? So whenever you are creating a sub account, basically, if I remember, there is an account explorer tab, and there you need to enter what is your subdomain name, what is a region, okay, what is the whether you are going to use for your production or not. So there are some of these important features which you fill up when you are entering the sub account details. Okay, any questions so far? Hello.
No, Videndra.
Okay. Next is authenticate and authorize users in LBN. So basically what happens, there are few approaches to authenticate users in LBN network, because you have to authorize the user, right? So that no other users who are not entitled to subscription may be allowed to operate here, right? So the first authentication you may use is using the SAP ID service. You have SAP service ID, right? Whenever you raise OSS and all, you have this. So the SAP ID service is the platform identity provider for SAP BTP. So your S user ID or your P user ID will be part of this SAP ID service, and you can use those user IDs directly in the SAP LBN. So you may create a user by registering your details with the SAP ID service if you don't have a S user also. So it means you may create your own specific user, or you may enter an S user. So most companies have their own established user base for business users, and they may want to reuse the same. So if that is the case, you have to use the concept called as SAML, Security Assertion Markup Language. So this is the language which they use to create a separate user ID framework to authenticate the users in the LBN.
So, which
Okay.
means the user who is creating the shipments or transport orders in TM
Yes.
should flow this either the S user process or this the second one, right? That
Yes.
is the
Yes.
understanding. You can also control the authorizations for that user, right? So in LBN.
Yes.
So
Yes.
what?
That you always have to do, because otherwise you'll have access to all the apps and all that you have to control. So those who are accessing the BTP environment, those who are the onboarding solution owner, you need to understand that, okay, if I'm not using dispute management, why do I give so many user access? So you can always control through rules. Okay.
Yeah.
Any other questions so far? Okay. Okay, so I'll stop here today, because I think all of our friends have not joined, because these are related little bit on the TM part. So if I miss this, they will not be able to understand it. Okay. So we are currently checking why the two people did not join. So on the next day, we will move into this and I will complete this two part. I hope you are feeling interested on this. Moreover, when you go into the system, you can have a feel, but it's important to know all this, because otherwise you'll not be able to co-link what we are doing in the system. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, fine. Thanks a lot. We'll again meet on Wednesday. Okay.
This
It's
conference
echoing.
will now be recorded.
Okay. So in the first day, we have discussed about the concept of solution owner, what is solution partner. We have also seen what are the four main parameters we need to consider while setting up the solution owner as part of the onboarding process, right? And then we discussed in details what are these global accounts, and also how do you authenticate and authorize users using the SAP service ID. Okay. So today we will mainly walk through what is the BP profile and what is the invite solution partner concept.
Virendra, there is
So
a echo, Virendra. So there is
I
a
know
echo.
that.
So
Uh,
who is the TM consultant here? Can you go on mute?
Yeah, this is Niren.
Sorry.
Niren.
Can you go
This is
on mute?
Niren.
Can you go on mute?
Yeah, sure.
okay. Is it okay now?
Yes, this is okay. Fine.
Okay. So if you see, as a solution owner, my third main profile will be to set up the BP profile. Now, what is this BP? BP stands for business partner. So as a solution owner, you must maintain information about your company, such as your corporate name, address, office address, sales, logistics contacts, and other details. So this manage business profile app in the SAP Fiori Launchpad in your LBN is used for this purpose. So this will help the business partners identify you when they receive an invitation from you to join SAP LBN. Okay. So you can always view your network ID in the Manage Business Profile app. So what is a network ID? So network ID is a unique identifier for your tenant in SAP LBN. So the LBN network ID is used in all transactions what you execute in LBN network, whether it's inbound, whether it's outbound interface, anything. And if since your backend system is S4HANA or TM, you must maintain this network ID as an alternative identifier to the business partners representing your purchase organization. So business partner profile is very important because without this you cannot run the LBN process. So it's a type of an identifier. Okay. And next comes the invite solution partners. So when you are inviting, you have to, before you onboard, you have to invite the solution partner. Solution partner means the carriers and all. So there are two ways by which this invitation can be done. So this invitation can be done either by using Discover Business Partner app, or number B is via your invite business partner app. So these are the two solution partner invitation app you have. So what is Discover Business Partner app? So with the Discover Business Partner app, you can search for the available business partners who are already part of the network and you invite them to connect. So that means basically what happens, you will see who are the onboarded carriers or who are part of this network, and then you send a link for them to get connected. So this app provides a way to explore the different partners based on geographic regions or industry groups. And you can view details of each partner through this app. You can request a connection, and then the respective partner can view the invitation and then they can join. Okay. So that is called as a Discover Business Partner app. And another app by which you can invite the solution partner is by Invite BP app. So with
Hey,
the
Bhinendra,
Invite BP app, yeah.
I'm really sorry to interrupt. I have a emergency, so I need to go. Sorry, I'll listen the
Oh,
session that okay. Sorry for that. Yeah, thanks.
okay. So using the Invite Business Partner app, you can invite business partners whether they are already part of the network or not. That means through the Invite Business Partner, you can specify whether the carriers are already part of this app or not. You can add invites manually by providing basic information such as your partner name, email address, your carrier alpha code, and so on. So once you finalize the details and submit the information, the LBN network will manage the connection invitation. In other words, using this Invite Business Partner app, you can also view the status of the invitation and follow up with the partner if the invitation is sent, no response received, etc. And once the partner accepts the invitation, you can view the partner's SAP LBN network ID from the accepted work list in the app. So that means there's a work list here in this app where you can say which are the business partners who has accepted your invitation, who have not. And every invitation is linked with a network ID. So you must maintain the LBN network ID for the business partners in your backend TM system as an alternative identifier. So if you remember, we always have an alternative identifier concept in TM, right? Where you can maintain the network ID there. If you have a large set of business partners, so that means if you're inviting many business partners, you can maintain them also in an Excel file, okay? And upload using the Invite Business Partner app. So that means you can have an Excel, maintain all the details of the invitation partners, and you can upload the Excel. Okay.
What data might be required to invite? So why we required an Excel sheet if we don't have much data to be required while
No.
invitation?
If it is single, you don't need it. I just said in mass. Suppose you have a lot of business partners, right? And in this case, if you want to invite every one of them, you can send this in a mass by using that Excel sheet. It's not mandatory. Okay. So this is the LBN, basically the server. So there is a report. If you go to this report, I forget the report name, but slash SCM TMS slash R underscore LBN. Yes, 1 minute. R career list download. Yes. So this report, if you see, if you display, if you basically execute also. So what is this download career list? That means if your backend system is S4 SAP TM, you can download the business partners as an Excel file using this report, and then upload them into the invite business partner app. Because see, these are the business partners. That means who are the carrier, right? You have the list of the carrier, for example. Okay.
So this
So
download
you
app will be downloading the carriers in our TM system, or
yes.
it will be downloaded in in our TM system. Okay.
No, it's a see backend is TM, right? So anyway, all the
Yeah.
information which you download here is retrieving the information from TM only. Okay. So basically, once the this is the list of the carrier who are there. Now, if you have to send them and you have to invite them, right? So you can then once you download and export to an Excel, you can upload this Excel in using the business partner app. There is another
So
report
how
with
do we
SAP.
know if carrier is already there onboarded in the LBN or not, right? So that could
To the
also be the
status
case, right?
in the work list. When I'll go into the system, I'll show you this in the invite business partner app. It's a work list. In the work list, you can see whether they have accepted, they have not accepted, whether it's in progress, it has not started. Through the status, you can find out. Okay. There is another app which is your SCM TMS R underscore LBN underscore. I think again I forget because it's very difficult to remember. ID, I think. Yeah, UPD. So if you go to this report, so you update the LBN ID. So that means you can update the business partner with the LBN ID in S4 TM system. Okay. From the accepted work list of the invite business partner app, you can download them with their network ID as a CSV file. So first of all, what happens, unless you update the LBN ID, you cannot actually invite them, because for every acceptance of the invitation, it has to be accompanied with the network ID. So this is one of the process. If you want to update the LBN ID for multiple carriers at the same time, you can also use this report. Okay. Clear to everyone?
So Virendra, one more question. So this is only LBN server, or it is also TM server?
It's a basically a TM server with both your shipper as well as your LBN tenant maintained here.
In same
See,
server.
TM
Okay,
is
in
the
same server.
backend. See, TM is
Yeah.
the
Okay.
backend. Okay, always
Yeah.
remember whenever I'm talking about LBN, so we'll share with you the ID also. This is the ID. Okay, so once I complete the theory, I will open this link for you. So this link will expose you all these apps which I have been discussing.
Okay.
But in the backend, you need to have the TM system going, right? So the TM system
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
the one which I'm showing it to you.
Yeah. No, that is clear. But I was just wondering if these are two different servers or it is a single server, right? So
So it's a single server. Server
single
is
server. Okay.
same. Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Now this is one of the part. Now once you onboard, so as I told you, what is a solution partner? A solution partner is an organizational unit that has been invited to join the LBN network by the solution owner. So I hope you understood the difference, right? So
Hmm.
solution partner onboarding is done by the SAP logistics network team in a productive tenant when a solution owner basically requests that the partner should be invited. As I told you last time, there is also a sub account for the solution partner in SAP BTP
okay, which is managed by the network team. Okay, so you can have either a production tenant or you can have a testing tenant. Okay, now we'll discuss the onboarding process for both production and test tenant. Okay, so what is a production tenant? So what happens, this process starts when a solution owner invites a solution partner to join the LBN network, and you as a solution partner, suppose you are a carrier, so you as a solution partner will receive an email from SAP to the email address provided to your solution owner. So you have to give an email ID, right? So based on that email ID, you'll receive a notification link, an email from SAP that please join this network. So like for example, sorry, suppose you have given me any email ID, right? So you'll receive the welcome mail will be like LBN at the rate, okay, at the rate, suppose, K dot Singh at the rate SAP digital.com. For example, even in your email ID, you'll receive a notification. Okay. So make sure you save this. So make sure, okay, means you'll receive an email ID from a specific email address. And always the email address, what I've seen in my current client also, they're maintaining like SAP digital interconnect.com. Interconnect.com. From here, you'll receive some email that you have to be onboarded now. And make sure you save this email address to the senders list in your email software. So in case you do not receive any email, you have to then send a mail to SAP contact. They will send an email. Because as I told you, this is a cloud-based product. Entire controlling of your account, sub-account, authorization, configuration, development, the segregation of duty matrix, all are maintained by SAP. So if you have not received any email, you have to send an email back to the SAP support team. You also need to have a ACE user ID and password, as I told you. Okay. Now suppose you have registered, you have an email ID, you have received the email notification. As I told you, you'll get an email. So once you get an email, you need to activate the SAP Logistics Business Network account, and you need to set a password for the administrator. And once you do that, you'll get another email which will provide you with the notification that this is your username and this is your network URL and this is the password which you can use. Now, once you get this, once this onboarding, this email notification and onboarding is done, you then need to complete your company's business profile using the Manage Business Partner app. So this app which I told you last time. So invite the BP app. So using this, business partner profile app, okay, you need to fill up your company's business profile. And you can make your business profile public. You can make it exposed to others. There is a dot which says that make the business profile visible to the potential partners. Okay. So once you are doing this, that means your profile will be exposed to the public, so that you can then be discovered like other business partners using the Discover Business Partner. Okay. So these are some of the things which you need to do, or else you will not be able to log into it.
Virendra, one question. So in Discover Business Partner app, so uh, here the business partners will be exposed whoever in the LBN network or in TM carriers.
Only LBN network.
Fully LBN
See,
network in the whole world.
this,
Whoever are
yeah,
the partners are there, that will be exposed, right?
correct. See, there is a
Okay.
difference between Discover Business Partner and Invite Business Partner. Discover means you are searching who are the available business partners who are already part of the network. That means you are searching. That means as a shipper, you are searching which carrier has accepted your invitation and they are already part of the network, right? That is based on the Discover. Discover means you are trying to find out. Invite means you are inviting your business partner separately to and whether they are already part of the network or not. So you can have the option to add the invitees manually also by using the Invite Business Partner app, by providing basic information such as partner's name, email address, alpha code, and so on. Okay.
So then
using that,
what if we find a business partner already in the Discover Business Partner app, then we will invite that business partner, and we
yes,
have to link that business partner to our career, right? SAP TM career.
that is already considered as part of the setup, because only those business partners will be invited who are actually part of career. Otherwise, you will not get those career IDs. Now you will not get the drop down that whom to set, right?
I didn't
So
get
when you
this,
are
Virendra.
yeah, see, basically, how will system know who are my career? So you will send the link only to those people, right, who are the careers, who have the role CRM 010, right? So they have to be present in the SAP system. Means in the
In
TM
our
system,
SAP
they
system,
already,
right? Yeah,
correct,
correct.
absolutely. You cannot send any other person who is not has an operative career, right? Then you cannot say. Just give me a minute, please. 1 minute. Okay. So what I was telling you. Okay. I hope I addressed your question, right?
Little confusion, Virendra. So
No, no,
maybe if
tell me
I
what you
can.
want. Tell me, ask me.
So Virendra, let's
What is-
say I have zero careers in my TM system. Okay, let's say zero careers. I have not created even one career BP. Okay, so if I go to Discover Business Partner app, so will I be able to see
No,
all the careers which is there in LBN
no.
network or no?
In the Discover Business Partner app, you will see already all the list of career. That is absolutely fine. What your
Oh,
question was that in case I don't have a career ID, whether we will find them? The answer is no. Because only those, see, first of all, in the SAP TM system, you have to create all the business partners. Then only the list of business partners will be available in the Discovery app. Now, in the Discovery app, you will also have a status work list. As I told you, the status work list is here in this app. This is just a searching. This is a searching app that all the business. Suppose you want to onboard DHL. So you have to first of
mm-hmm,
all create DHL as your business partner in TM, right? Then only he will come
mm-hmm.
here, or else he will not come here. And once he is there, then you use this app to invite him. And in the while
Let's
you are
understand,
inviting,
Virendra. Let's say for example, there are many other companies, right? So other than let's say for example, there is Novartis, there is some other companies which is already onboarding DHL, right? And which is there in LBN network, right? So
yes,
now, if I just go and do Discover Business app, so at least I should be seeing the DHL, right? So in
yes,
the
you'll
in my
find them.
LBN network,
You'll
you'll find
find
them,
them.
right? Okay,
Yes.
okay. Now I want to use the same DHL to another company. So my company, for example. So what is the procedure? I'll create a career as a DHL in my TM system, right?
Yes.
Then how do I link that career to that DHL which is already existing?
You cannot link your, see, you have to be a business partner, right? Why will
Mhm.
you link yourself to DHL? I did not understand that. Because you are, see, what is your role in the entire transportation process? Are you the carrier or not?
I'm a shipper, right? For example.
Ship, no, that is okay. Shipper, you will have a unique ID. This process, what I am saying is to how to onboard the solution partner. You are already there. So when you are entering with your ID, with your
Mhm.
ID, you will go into this particular Discover Business Partner app. Your objective is to invite the solution partner. You are already there as a shipper. Why you will again link? You don't have to link. because you're already part of this tenant. Na? Your objective is to send the invitation to your solution partners.
Carrier.
That is the
Carriers, right?
correct. Correct. So
I'm
when you are
missing
going
something
into
that.
this discovery app, you will search
Mhm.
for your business partner. That means you will search whether DHL is part of the network or not. If they are not part of the network, or if they are part of the network, then you'll get the list. Okay, DHL is there. Then you'll send them an
Mhm.
invite to connect. When you will send the invite to connect, you can also you can feed the details. Means those who have already available, you can see them whether the group name, email address, and all of that. That is only what the discovery do. Discover means finding out whether that particular
Mhm.
business partner is there or not.
Mhm.
Then with the invite app, you are sending the invitation.
Mhm.
This is the two things. So as a shipper, you are already, see, invitation will be sent by whom? Invitation will be sent by the solution owners to the solution partner. You are the solution owner.
Correct.
You are a shipper. So you
Correct.
are searching, first of all, whether the network
Mhm.
details exist. If
Mhm.
the network details exist, that is part of this. Now you are sending an invite.
Mhm. Yeah. So
Okay?
I'll be sending the invite, right? So to DHL.
Yeah.
Then how do I link
Yes. Yeah. Tell me.
1, 2, 3, 4,
Hello.
5 as a carrier?
No, no.
Using the am I
I
audible?
lost your voice. I lost your voice. Can you repeat again?
Okay. Yeah, sure, sure. So let's say, for example, I have invited a carrier, right? So let's say
Correct.
I'm creating a flight order and assign this flight order to carrier 1, 2,
Correct.
3, 4, for example, ID number. How
Mhm.
do the flight order 1, 2, 3, 4 knows that it is a DHL, which I have invited already? How do we link this carrier ID created in TM to the onboarded carrier using invite
So
BPR?
unique, in your TM system, you have already created a business partner ID. That ID is the identification. So if you have
Okay.
created carrier 1 as DHL, carrier 2 as Hapag-Lloyd, carrier 3 as Kunenagar. So then you know the
Mhm.
BP ID, right? So through the
Hmm.
BP ID, you can identify who are the carriers there, and you send an invitation to all of them. Those who will accept, they will be onboarded. Those who will not accept, they will not be onboarded.
Okay. So we will see,
You
right, in
already
the
have a
system,
BP ID.
Virendra. So yeah,
Yeah.
we'll see this in the system, right?
Ah,
So it may be.
it is in the system. But first of all, I want to make some of the terminologies clear. We'll all see in the system.
Yeah, okay, okay. Maybe I'll be clear when we see in the system, right? So let's
Yeah.
focus there. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Now there is another app which is called as a user management app. What does this app do? Because I just wanted to give an overview on the app first of all, so that when you
Okay.
see the
Yeah,
system, because
yeah,
these all apps are new apps. You have never seen this
yeah,
before.
yeah. Okay.
So what does this user management app do? So as the SAP LBN administrator, so this app is maintained usually by the administrator. You can understand from the word user management. That means who maintains all the users. Now, who will be
Mhm.
managing all the users? Obviously, the administrator. So you can create, edit, delete users to your tenant via this user management app. So this app is made for providing basic information about users. That means name and email. That means who are the users who are going to operate this app. All this information will be available in this manage users app. You can select, even the users can be grouped in the form of user groups, right? So user groups are actually predefined by SAP for each solution in SAP LBN. So they are basically the administrators of business roles related in nature. So in case a user group or user ID, whatever is it, an activation email will be sent to the email address of these user IDs along with the password and all. And then based on that, once the user ID and password is there, then they can log in with the network URL. So the process what I have told you is already told here, but the reason why I'm telling you this app, because through this app you can maintain the credentials of all the users. Okay.
Yeah.
So that is
Users in the sense who is creating the flight orders, right?
correct.
Okay.
Okay. Now the next most important part is the connectivity. So do you know how SAP LBN gets connected with S4 TM system? That is very, very important, because if you are not knowing this, you will never be able to understand. So I think I have a slide. Maybe let me check. Okay, I think this should be okay. Do you know how this connectivity happens?
No, Virendra.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
See, this is very important, because in any of your project, your basis team, or if you're working as an architect, you have to guide the team. See, LBN network supports API based communication. Okay, because you know it's a cloud platform, right? And these API based communication are published by SAP. And when I'm talking about API based communication, so if there are different types of communication technique in API when you're going into cloud. One can be REST. I don't know whether you've heard about this. So these are technical things, but you should know, because you should know how the APIs communicate. So REST means representational state transfer. R for representational, S for E for your sorry, ST is for state transfer. Okay, or it can be also be via SOAP. See, because we are mainly working in the on-premise, we don't care about this, right? But you have to know that once you're going to LBN, it's a cloud-based API. So SOAP means Simple Object Access Protocol. So that means your backend SAP system communication is based on a standardized SOAP B2B messages. So that means you have the API from the cloud. The tenant makes an API call through this SOAP to your transportation management system. Now, because LBN is a network, right? And as you know, like in a house, we have our own Wi-Fi network. In your office, you have your own network. So there is always a communication method which is basically connecting with your laptops and hard disk, right? Similarly, LBN network uses SSL as a communication method where secure communication between system entities are published by the certificate authorities. So what happens? Suppose when you are basically connecting your laptop to an external server which your Wi-Fi is not able to detect your system, right? They always tell you download the certificates. You remember? Because there's a type of an authentication they need, that you are agreeing to those certificates, then only the access protocol will be set up. Same thing here. Whenever the LBN is used, it uses an SSL concept. SSL means secure socket layer concept. It's a communication method where secure communication between system entities are accomplished. Clear? Now, as a solution owner, so solution owner means suppose you are the shipper tenant. You can connect your SAP or non-SAP backend system using LBN network published API. It's not that you always need to connect with your SAP team. It can be SAP S4HANA, it can be non-SAP also. You can connect your LBN to your non-SAP also. But these can only be done based on your SAP LBN's published API. So if you have an SAP backend system such as S4 or TM, then you can leverage out-of-box integration with LBN network, right? But if you are into a non-SAP, then you have to make use of the published APIs which the network of LBN provides to you for your connectivity. Now, this is the last part we'll see, because that person has gone away. Because if he doesn't understand this, he will not be able to follow up also. So now we'll see how the connection works for SAPT. That is very important. See, LBN network, as I told you, what it does, it uses SSL, right, as a communication method to integrate your backend system. Now, to enable a secure communication, you must first of all establish a trust between the backend system and LBN network by exchanging some certificates. See, what I told you initially, there is a protocol, there is a communication method. This protocol or communication method is something through which your APIs communicate with TM system. Now, as part of this communication method, it's a trust network. Trust network means there are certain certificates which needs to be exchanged, which needs to be signed by SAP or the third-party certification authority. So all the inbound messages which are entering your LBN network are authenticated by these certificates. So whenever you are installing LBN for the first time, there are a lot of certifications you need to install in order to establish the communicator. Okay. Any questions so far? So once you get the certificates, then establishing the connection depends on the integration approach. So first of all, you need to get the certificates, and then how do you communicate the with SAP TM? So there are two processes. So connection for SAP is done through two processes. Either it's a direct connection or it's an indirect communication. So what is the direct? Direct means via SOA manager. Okay. Indirect means you can use PI or PO or SAP cloud integration. So there are two methods by which your LBN through the SSL gets connected to TM, either by direct or indirect method. Direct means SOA manager, indirect means your PI, PO or cloud integration. So these are the two integration approaches, and based on the integration approach, you'll import the necessary certificates and then the connectivity can be set up. And if the integration is direct, that means if it is through SOA manager, you can use transaction SOA manager in your backend system to connect to SAP LBN network. SAP prefers through SOA manager because it is easy to configure, and it is also recommended if you don't want to use middleware to communicate from your backend system to the public cloud solutions, right? You can directly configure the provider consumer proxies, and you can establish the inbound and outbound interface through the transaction SOA manager. Now, in the other hand, if you are using the integration as indirect, where you are using PI, PO or the cloud integration tenant, then you have to maintain the SOAP adapters. So this SOAP, what I told you, these adapters only applicable if you are using indirect mechanism for both your inbound and outbound communication, so that your data exchange can happen. So during the outbound SOAP adapter creation via PI, PO, you have to select the certificate from the keystore. So these are some technical setups which you need to basically have a walkthrough, because unless you know how the connectivity happens, then it will be difficult for you to do the troubleshooting also. So if either it is to the middleware or it is to the SOA manager. Any questions so far?
No. So the one which you are practicing, so the connectivity is already established, right? We are not doing
Yes,
this
yes,
exercise, right?
yes. It's already established.
So that is direct connection, right? Via solo manager.
Direct, direct. We are all doing direct.
Direct.
Indirect means
So if it is an indirect case, we will bypass this solution manager and it will be PI or PO.
yes.
Okay. Okay. So
Have you
and
worked on
one
SOA
question.
manager? Have you worked on SOA manager?
No, Virendra. No, I have not worked on solution manager.
I just
So
correct.
very little. So there was some incidents and all which is created in solution manager. So I know how to go to that incidents and check the status, but not more than that.
You don't need to know that, but just for your update, because this we really use in case you are doing your TM EWM integration also, right? So I
TM
just show you
EWM
what.
integration we are following ASR. So
Yes,
no
sir.
need to
Okay.
go with yeah.
But I just because this was one of the earliest one, so I just quickly show you what is that in SOA manager. See, whenever again it is not your responsibility, but you can always help the technical team, because we don't have too much of expertise in SOA manager in the industry. So
Correct.
basically, whenever they give you the system that okay, we are connected to SOA manager, what you have to do, you have to basically check this transaction SRT_admin. Once you go into this transaction, you just click on this check technical settings. Now, once you do this check technical settings, what you will do, you have to enter the client where you need to check the configuration, and here you'll get the result and output. So this result or output will actually tell you whether the entire SOA manager setup is connected or not. Okay. So this is the transaction code SRT_admin. Now, when you type in to SWA manager, SOAM, this is the transaction code. Okay. So in the SWA manager, when you type in the SWA manager, you can get to see a lot of these tabs and all. Okay. The first tab is the SAP client settings. So client settings means here what happens when you go into the client settings, you have to tick mark this central system. This is mandatory. So because see, you have to identify that this client is my central location of all the transactions that is going to be happen for me. So the central system is very important. Okay. So that means unless you set up the central system, you cannot establish the connections to the central. You have to establish the connection. So once you go to that, then the next part is the management connection. So under management connection, if you see this app, you have to basically then create what is the SAP system ID, what is the remote client, what is the business system name, all this, this technical stuff from the basis has to be done. And if you want to check whether this management connection is working or not, if you see there is this third one, you have to ping this. This is a ping button. If you ping this, it will tell whether your connection is on or not.
Okay.
So this is one thing. Second thing is, sorry. If you
Can
go
I
down,
get this document, Virendra? Will
yes,
you
yes,
be
I'll
sharing
share
this
it.
document?
Yes. After management connection, you go to technical administration. Under technical administration, you go to the domains. So you have to create a domain. Domain means here you need to basically specify what is the priority, what is the description of the domain, what is the domain name, because unless you domain is a type of a client, your SLD, system landscape. And again, this will be done by basis, and again you can check if it is active or not. Unless the status is active, that means my domains are not set up. Then is the central business scenario configuration. So this integration scenario configuration. So integration scenario configuration is what? So integration scenario configuration here means what type of integrations you want to set up. What type of scenario you want to set up. That is called as the integration scenario configuration. So here, if you see, have a look, you have to activate the different service group. See, SAP, see, I don't know whether you know because you have worked on SOA manager. If you have not, SOA manager worked on service group concept. Service group means whenever you are sending any, see, SAP TM has a lot of interfaces, right? The services, right? So that is called as a service group in SOA manager. So whether it is for outbound, whether it is for inbound, different communication to carrier, B2B, communication to warehouse, everywhere there are services. So those services are clubbed together under service groups. So the service groups are basically used because unless you activate the service groups, for example, you cannot communicate with the carrier. So there are a lot of standard groups which are there in SAP. So you have to activate all those. Just to give an example, like SAP TM has outbound interface and as well as inbound interface. So if I go for outbound interface, you have the order cancellation request out, you have the quotation cancellation out, you have the order request out, charge element confirmation out. So these are the standard outbound interface. Similarly, inbound also, you have the order confirmation in, you have the invoice request in, you have the event bulk notification in. All these are different types of inbound interfaces. So that is actually a service group. So you have to maintain the service groups, or else no outbound messages will be triggered. So again, this will be done by the basis team. We don't need to worry. We just need to check the ping. You go to this integration scenario. You go to this. You get details of this, and you ping the services, just to ensure that the services have been activated on. And these are the details what the basis team maintains for each of the services. So for example, actor 1, this is my service group. Actor 2, this is my service group. They have to maintain a proxy. They have to maintain all the communication protocol. And as I told you, you have to ping. So if you are pinging and if you get a green, the status, that means it is active. Now, once you have done with this, then again in the SOA manager, under the service administration tab, you have to click on the logon data. So logon data means you have to specify what is the logon template and all this information. So, and you have to assign the logon data to the service groups. Okay, so these you don't need it. There is another tab called as a matching interface. So under the tab service administration, you have to go to the matching interface. If you see here, under the matching interface, you have to enter the service group which you have pre-configured or activated before, and you can see more details. What is a consumer system? What is a provider system? What is whether the matching interface is activated? What are the integration scenarios which will be active? All this information are available. That's it. So these are the common setups which we do while part of the SOA manager setup. Okay.
Yeah.
So I
But this
will.
is done by basis, right? This is done by basis, but you just
Yes.
okay.
So
And
this
this
is
is
done by
also same
basis.
for ATM EWM integration, right? Virendra, that is what you are saying,
Yes.
right?
Yes. 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 Okay. So I will stop here today because that person is also not there. So I think let's wait for him. He will maybe probably be there in the next class, because out of 2%, if one person is not there, then very difficult. But okay, so he'll be there in the next class. So we'll start seeing the system, how the system looks from
Yeah.
LBN perspective. We'll have a
Yeah.
deep dive on that. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'll be also getting access meanwhile. How?
Yes. Yes. You
Okay.
send a note to Naveen. He will give you the access.
Okay. Okay. I'll coordinate with you. Thanks, Virendra. Thanks for your time. So we'll be
Okay.
meeting on the Sunday, right? Sunday or Saturday?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Saturday. Okay. Thank you. Have a nice day.